Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. Tuesday, April 14th, 2026, the year of our Lord, or our doctor, I should say. And this is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Oh my gosh. Got a good stretch in. Feel good, man. Today, it is buried in the middle of April, the idea that in a week we get the NFL draft. Buried in the middle of April, the idea that this week we get the NBA playoffs. I mean, like that's here. The NHL postseason. Last night, the WNBA draft. Major League Baseball. Dodgers, good. Mariners, good again. Astros. We'll have to answer that question. And in the middle of all of that, too, Rory McIlroy winning the Masters. Yesterday, flying home from Albuquerque, looking over the desert, thinking about this Rory information, processing, him winning the Masters back-to-back, elite company, the toughest tournament in the world to win. Oh, and by the way, I've seen all the hypotheticals. The fact that there are people that in the wake of the Masters, and you got the instant reaction yesterday of what it's, America reacts to Rory winning. I don't need to give you that. You've had a day to process it. I want to answer the question whether or not Rory is a top 5 golfer all time. That's where I'd like to go. But what I want you to know before we really dive in today, these Twitter warriors that believe that if they really practiced hard, if all I had to do for 2 years was play golf every day, if I went to Augusta and played for 3 straight weeks, as much as I wanted to, I could win it. I could compete at the Masters. And they invented a word recently for people that say things like that. And that word is idiot. Very clearly that word is idiot. And if you started on the green, I still, I've been to putt-putt golf places where I've watched buddies of mine who are good golfers go over par at the putt-putt golf place or shoot 2 or 3 strokes under par at the putt-putt golf place. And you know what's crazy? It's like you went on a par 3 putt-putt hole, 4 strokes. We really think that if we put the whole of America on the green, they're going to win the Masters? This is, when I say the toughest tournament in the world to win, this might just be the toughest tournament in the world to win. And Rory just did it in back-to-back years. I talked to you. You now have got into a habit, right? And habits can be good things. You've gotten into a habit of waking up. It's another beautiful day in Anna, Texas. You hate the fact that Frisco and McKinney are creeping further toward your hallowed grounds of Anna. It used to be this small town, and everything's blowing up until Dallas becomes Oklahoma, if it isn't already. You've gotten into this routine of waking up and listening to the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. And you'll remember last week I told you about the parity in college basketball and how UConn continuing to come up in the conversation of Final Four, national championship, top of the world, that the variance of college basketball is what makes that even more impressive. The variance of the Masters is the exact same thing. And for Rory to do it twice, for Rory to do it in consecutive years, that rarefied air is so unique that by beginning the show today saying Rory might just be a top 5 golfer of all time, I'm not apologetic. That is a year and a week ago, a year and 2 weeks ago. Rory, top 5 golfer ever. That is a statement that makes me cringe, shiver. What? Who's saying that? Why are they saying that? But in the span of 53 weeks, what the man has done, I have my top 5 reasons that I've built for Rory being a top 5 golfer all time. What he has built is undeniable. What he's done in 53 weeks to prove his all-time golf worth is undeniable. But first, here is what it sounded like when Rory sunk his final. And can I go on a small tangent here? Lend me your ears for 45 seconds before we give you the audio from Jim Nantz. You may have missed this. You'll probably miss it in the production realm. No one's paying attention to this, but I was. An all-time bad boof from what they call the director. In the trucks, you've seen the videos of the Masters or the NBA, MLB, ESPN Plus at South Carolina State. And they're in the control room or the production truck. And there are 40 TVs across the wall, okay? The director is the one who says, ready 3, take 3. Ready 6, take 6. And they're calling the cameras, what camera to show. A one-of-one, could not believe it boof. We get to the final shot of the Masters for Rory to win his second consecutive, and the director gives us a camera shot of just Rory's ass. Can't see the club, can't see the ball, can't see the reaction. And there's, right now it's going viral on Twitter, a thread of people who thought for a split 2 seconds that he'd missed the putt because you couldn't see anything. Final shot of the Masters, and you could see nothing because the director said, ready camera 4 and take camera 4. No, 7, take 7. And you missed the final putt of the Masters. You know what you didn't miss? You know who didn't miss in the moment? Jim Nantz. Here's what it sounded like on CBS when Rory brought home history.
And here we go. His year again. Rory is a rare repeat winner at Augusta.
And, of course, in true Jim Nantz CBS Masters fashion, this has become the thing to do. I think Nantz remained silent for the next 4 minutes and 33 seconds as Rory walked through the crowd. And it's one of the great ovations you get in sports. It's maybe the longest ovation, annual ovation in sports. Rory winning the Masters. The crowd chants Rory. Final putt goes in. And he cements himself. Here is what he had to say via the Golf Channel about this year's Masters versus last year's Masters for him.
I thought it was so difficult to win last year because of trying to win the Masters and the Grand Slam, and then this year I realized it's just really difficult to win the Masters. I tried to convince myself it was both, but...
That is everything you told me it would be. Everything that I couldn't buy into. Everything that I could not believe about Rory going into the weekend. And what I mean by that is all of you told me, you kept saying, Drake, Rory's looser now. He's started to become such a great golfer because he's not chasing anything. He's already done it all. And now he can spend the next 10 years of his career, the final 12 years of his career, whatever it may be, just playing loose golf and winning. And I thought, no, that's not the Rory that I know. That's not what I expect out of Rory. I expect somewhere down the line, when the moment's the biggest, more often than not, he'll choke it away. But he didn't. He led every round of the Masters this year. So the theory of, well, he's playing more loose. Well, he looks different. He looks like he's at the most comfortable part of his career. Yeah, he does. And now he has a spot in the pantheon of golf's elite. Number one. Okay, he's not number one. But the number one reason he's a top 5 golfer, the career Grand Slam. Well, there's like 6 other guys to do that. 6 total guys with Rory. So now we only have one guy to beat out of that 6 to make sure you're a top 5 golfer all time. Oh, and some of those names, like Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Gene Sarazen, Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus. That is elite company to put you in the top 6 all time. If you achieve the slam, you have got to be a top 5 contender in consideration for the top 5. Now, you don't have to have the Grand Slam to be a top 5 golfer ever. If you want to sit here and say, oh, well, Arnold Palmer is really good, or Phil Mickelson's really good, those are guys that you love. Okay, that's fine. But Rory did it. And that's a gatekeeper for a top 5 here all time. Oh, volume, efficiency, consistency over the course of a career that still has 10, 12 years left in it. 6 major championships, 2 Masters back-to-back, 2 PGA championships, a U.S. Open, and an Open championship. He is tied for the most majors by any European golfer in history. That's a piece of this, man, is Rory comes across the pond and is dominating the sport and has become a face of the sport. That is not easy to do. You're looking at Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus, the great Americans of all time in the sport of golf who have taken the sport by storm. Not Rory. He's the European guy with a funny accent who comes over here and just wins. And now has become the most likable golfer on tour. I don't know. A lot of you guys are chanting his name on 18 after he won the Masters for back-to-back years, and only the 4th player ever to defend a Masters title. Now, if you want statistics, I'm going to talk stats. According to Data Golf and Strokes Gained metrics, Rory McIlroy is 4th all-time in total career strokes gained, points trailing only Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Ben Hogan. His average, what that means, his average performance over his career has been statistically superior to almost every other legend. He only trails Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, and Ben Hogan. He doesn't trail Arnold Palmer, no. Bobby Jones, no. Rory has spent his career to this point at number 4 all time in one of the most important metrics you can have. Longevity, huh? He spent over 122 weeks as the world number 1. That's listen to that. He trails Tiger Woods, yeah, or Greg Norman. A top 5 all time for total weeks at the summit, for total weeks at number 1 in the official world golf ranking. So, if the metric here is Rory McIlroy being a top 5 golfer ever, when 53 weeks ago that sounded crazy, I'm now telling you that he's in elite company, Mount Rushmore company, in one of the most important stats you could dig up. I'm not telling you he's top 5. I'm telling you right now he's top 5 all time in weeks spent at number 1 in the world. I'm telling you he's got the career Grand Slam, the championship volume, the efficiency, and the ability to remain at the top of the sport for 15 years. Rory's been in the mix here for, 15 solid years. That is rare, sustained excellence. And I want to go back as kind of the final nugget for why I think Rory has cemented himself top 5. It might sound crazy to you, but dog, the numbers are there. The wins are there. The trophies, the analytics, they're all right there. Unlike a lot of the American legends that I've mentioned, that's the final big piece of this. He has a global resume. 30 PGA Tour wins, 21 DP World titles, 7 race to Dubai. Across all tours, 40 or more win totals, 50 more win totals. He's surpassed a lot of the greats at just winning tournaments across the board, and again for 15 years. And the data they were collecting yesterday on his, I guess he's wearing one of those rings that tracks your steps and your health and apparently his physiologically, due to the Whoop app, or I'm not really sure. The robots are tracking us now. The robots can tell you your all of your body metrics. Rory has one of those. And he is physiologically a year and a half younger. His body's a year and a half younger than his actual age. He's Benjamin Buttoning himself, right? He's somehow getting younger in the world of golf due to his daily routine, due to his health, and how stable it is. So a guy who's been at the top of golf or vying for the top spot in golf for 15 years, that guy is going to be in the game of golf for another 10. It would be really weird. It would be very weird. But we could be 5 years away from saying Rory McIlroy, greatest golfer ever, and there being a strong case. It makes me like shudder a little bit. I never thought that in my life I would say these sentences. But you know what? Yeah. That's what we're staring down the barrel of, boss. Far more dominant, Rory, from a global profile, by the way, than anybody at the 60s, 70s, really into the 80s. This is the resume of a top 5 golfer ever. When we return, the NBA playoffs are here. Yeah, baby. Come on. Give me the play-in tournament. Tuesday, April 14th. Today, the association has to crown a champion. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
How high is...
so fine. She's the only one that I've been dreaming of. Maybe someday she will be all mine. I wanna tell her that I love her so. I thrill with her every touch. I need to tell her she's the only one I really love. I got a warm, warm ball all day. I got a woman, she won't be true now. I got a woman, stay drunk all the time. I said I got a little woman and she won't be true. On Sunday morning when we go down to church, see the men folks standing in line. Don't say they come to pray to the Lord, but when my little girl looks so fine. In the evening when the sun is sinking low, everybody's with the one they love. I walk the town, keep a searching all around, looking for my street corner girl. I got a warm, warm ball all day. I got a warm, she won't be true, no, no. I got a warm, stay drunk all the time. Midnight shift, she fall around all the time. I guess it's just one thing left for me to do. Gonna pack my bags and move on my way. Cause I got a worried mind, sharing what I thought was mine. Gonna leave her with the guitars play. I got a woman, she won't be true, no, no. I got a woman ball all day, yeah, yeah. Now she's the only one that I've been dreaming of. Maybe someday she will be all mine. I wanna tell her that I love her so. I thrill with her every touch. I need to tell her she's the only one I really love. I got a warm, warm ball all day. I got a warm and she won't be true now. I got a warm and stay drunk all the time.
Oh, man. Bill Belichick was at the Savannah Bananas game this weekend.
Bananas.
And Jordan was there. There's a picture from a reporter at UNC. He took a picture of Jesse Cole, the founder of the Savannah Bananas, in his yellow tuxedo, who's in the middle of a conversation with Jordan and Bill Belichick. And the caption was, UNC head coach Bill Belichick, his girlfriend Jordan, and Savannah Bananas owner Jesse Cole chatted up pregame at UNC. And the quote tweet was, "Nightmare blunt rotation." And when I tell you the rounds that made at our company, when I tell you the conversation that sparked, what a weekend it was in Banana Land and in Banana Bowl. What a day it was yesterday, too, both in the National Hockey League, in the WNBA. What a day it's been for some of these college basketball teams. You see North Carolina lose one of the best prospects in all of basketball because they fired Hubert Davis. Hubert. And Michael Malone. He's 0-1 as head coach at UNC, now losing a 5-star prospect. Where do you go today? Where do you start, right? We started with golf because I do think Rory being top 5 all time should be a storyline on your radar this week. And another piece of this, by the way, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. Another piece of this week, last night's WNBA draft. Dallas, the city of Dallas, I was thinking about it yesterday. Who is the contender? Like, the last major championship I can think of for the city of Dallas would be the Texas Rangers in 2023. And it's 2026 now. It's been a couple of years since then. The city of Dallas has struggled to win, and as a Dallas sports fan myself, has struggled to win in the postseason. And the Stars can reverse that this year, but the city of Dallas needs a true contender. And now with Azzi Fudd in the fold alongside Paige Beckers, I think they have that in the WNBA. I think now Dallas will be a contender. Here's what it sounded like last night when the number 1 overall pick, Azzi Fudd, walked the stage.
The Dallas Wings select Azzi Fudd, University of Connecticut.
You know what I think is cool that you might not consider is that audio clip of the Dallas Wings select Azzi Fudd. Like, hey, Fudd's going to listen to that for the rest of her life. Like that, those words, that moment, you speak that into a microphone, and this is the equivalent of your life's greatest hits. Like you hear that clip on the Drake Toll show today, right? And that is the last time you'll hear that clip in a few weeks. It's the last time you may ever hear that clip. Last time you hear it until the WNBA finals and they play it over again and say, here it's Azzi Fudd's path. She was drafted. You won't hear it very much. That will play in her household for the rest of her life, that moment the opportunity to be drafted first overall, reunite with Paige Beckers, who helped fulfill the dynasty, further the dynasty at UConn, reunite with Paige Beckers in Dallas, and now try to build something for a team that could start bringing championships to a city that hasn't won a lot of championships, struggles to compete at the top and in postseason play. Across the pond from the WNBA into the NBA, the storylines for both were clear yesterday. That is, one, the WNBA drafting the future, and the other, the NBA, determining the future champion of the association. And boy, today it begins, huh? The Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets. One of my favorite stories that in this jam-packed winter into spring of sports that we haven't gotten to hit on enough is this rise of the Charlotte Hornets. And it's why I'm thankful that at Westwood One Sports and on this network, guys like Nick Costos are with us, or Josh Graham, the guys that are so basketball-predicated, basketball-focused, that they give ample coverage to the Hornets that deserve it. They've been one of the coolest stories in professional sports. On, like, this year, 2026, on January 2nd, they lost 122 to 121 to the Milwaukee Bucks and fell to 11-23 on the year. Con Knippel was the leading scorer in that game. No one cared. You're 11-23. That's where you tank. That's where officially we all meet and say, hey, we can't keep doing this. Well, I mean, then, wait a second. You just won but you won on the road in LA against the Lakers, 135-117. You're 15-26 now. Like January 17th, they were 15-27. January 21st, they were 16-28. I'm talking, that wasn't that long ago. Today is April 14th. That was January 21st. And the Hornets were 16-28. Pack it up. That's accept your fate, go home. Then they won 9 straight. Uh-oh. All of a sudden you're 25-28. You start to feel like, oh, are we good again? Now you're 32-31 with a win against the Celtics on the road. Oh, now you're 36-34. Now you're 39-34. One of the coolest stories. And a team, by the way, that's won 5 of its last 7 still, despite late losses to Boston and Detroit, 2 of the best teams in the NBA. You're looking at a Hornets team who I hope, because of that kind of Cinderella status, for them to finish the season 44-38 after being 12 games under 500 in mid to late January. I hope that this is a Hornets team and a story that you track in the NBA postseason and in the 9th place versus 10th place game in the East. Over in the West, 7th place versus 8th place at 10 p.m. Eastern, because why would it ever be earlier than that? We'll be up until 1 tonight with my friends, the Trailblazers and the Suns. I don't think any of these 4 teams, and I'm not shocking anyone by saying this, the Heat, the Hornets, the Trailblazers, the Suns, I don't think any of these 4 teams are NBA title contenders. But I do think it's going to be fun to watch this Hornets team because of what they've flashed late in the season, because of the potential they've shown, because of the teams they've beat, the big wins they've gotten, because of their ability to win on the road. They're only 21-20 at home. They have a 44-38 record. But they're only 21-20 at home. That means they're 23-18 on the road. I mean, that's a recipe for a team who, by the way, they are playing at home. They're in the Spectrum Center tonight. That is a recipe for a team that can make some noise and surprise you in the NBA postseason. I do still think I've got to ride with the Spurs here. They're the 2 seed in the West. It will be San Antonio and Oklahoma City who play in the Western Conference Finals, and it will be one of the great series to watch. And it will go 6 or 7 games, and San Antonio will win. They will go to the NBA title, very likely against the Detroit Pistons. For as loaded and fun, I don't think the West goes deeper than 2 teams There's almost no way in my mind that it's not Oklahoma City and San Antonio in the conference finals. In the East, I would not be surprised. I would not be. There's a world, and I mean, there's a world where these red-hot Hornets, the potential they've shown in the back half of the NBA season, that they could give Detroit, if they get Detroit in the first round, they could give Detroit fits. The East has depth to it. The West does not. And I am riding with San Antonio still to win the NBA title. And if you've heard of the name Victor Wembanyama, that's a reason. That's a reason why. Now, I mean, the bruised left rib, that was a week ago. So still dealing with that. And it appears like it's a minor injury, bruised rib. But there's a level of pain you're playing through. There's a level of uncomfortability, discomfort that you're playing through the rest of the NBA season and in a race for a title. But, dog, I don't know. He's 22 years old. We should be okay here. But maybe if you wanted to push back on the Spurs take, by the way, you could say that Oklahoma City has playoff experience. Didn't you just saw they won the title, right? San Antonio hasn't been to the postseason. San Antonio doesn't go to the postseason anymore. Not since the great Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard. Remember Kawhi Leonard played for San Antonio. Tim Duncan, Tiago Splitter, Boris Diaw. Come on, start naming Danny. You start naming guys. Danny Green. Start naming guys. The Spurs are back in it though, and I think that lack of playoff experience, they're going to be okay. They're all pro athletes. They've been in the big moments before. They're all going to be okay. Over in the National Hockey League, dog, I'm telling you, I don't think people understand. I'm being from Arkansas. Not a lot of folks watched hockey. It just wasn't part of your DNA out there. And so growing up, I didn't have a front row seat to watch the Avalanche. I didn't have a front row seat to watch the Bruins. I certainly didn't have a front row seat to watch the Kraken. They haven't existed that long. And now that in adulthood I have found a love and a fervor for hockey, nights like last night are awesome. The Avs at the Oilers winning in a shootout 2-1 is awesome. The Sabres' dominance this season. Exclamation pointed last night, 5-1 over the Blackhawks with 3 goals in the third. That's different. Preds Sharks in this like must win for both of us. We need a win here. 3-2 Sharks in Nashville. Flyers over the Hurricanes. Like we were amping up for the NHL postseason. Stars Maple Leafs in a crazy 6-5 game where we break the spirit even further of Toronto. And further cement in my mind the Stars as a genuine top-tier contender for the Stanley Cup this year. Last night rocked. Oh, and guess what? You get it again today. There is even more hockey today, even more high-profile matchups. All the way down to the Penguins and Blues late tonight. The Ducks and the Wild, Capitals, Blue Jackets. And through Thursday, we'll figure out how the postseason will shape up. If it was played today, the Kings and the Avs in round 1, the Wild and the Stars, the Utah Mammoth, baby, come on. And the Vegas Golden Knights, Anaheim, Edmonton. We'd see Carolina and Ottawa in the first round. The Buffalo Sabres and the Boston Bruins. Yeah, I'm looking right now, NHL.com. They've got the playoff projection with 3 days left of the regular season. If the playoffs started today, here's what it would look like. And again, just looking at these matchups, Kings, Avs. I think Stars Wild first round is dope, man. Sabres Bruins. I'm in. That is just one of the myriad of top-level national sports stories to follow this week. Nobody's got it better than us. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Coming up on the Drake Toll Show. Biggest losers of the day. 310-840-4910. there are like 5 or 6 really big losers and even a couple big winners. Sponsored by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving all branches of the armed forces. Veterans and their families. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Our members are the mission at NavyFederal.org. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The NFL Draft is next Thursday, and we'll be backstage talking to the draft picks just minutes after getting
trust that love me for the man I've become, not the man that I was. And I wanna have friends that let me be all alone when being alone is all that I need. Perfect space, feel natural and safe in a volatile place, and I wanna grow old without the pain, give my body back to the earth and not complain. Understand when I am too old of a man, will you forget when we have paid our debt? Who did we borrow from? Who did we borrow from? Okay, part 2, now clear the house. The party's over, take a shower. Like my mother has, and not like the kind in the Bible that turns you bad. I wanna have friends that I can trust, that love me for the man I've become, not the man that I was.
Touch yourself. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. How many guys named Jalen are there in the NBA? The Jalen province, the Jalen epidemic, it's spreading quickly. There are too many Jalens in the NBA. It's become the most popular name in professional sports. Is it Jalen Rose? Who did this? Who began? There are, at one point in time, there were 3 Jalen Williams on the Thunder alone, and they all started one game, which is hilarious. We have created an incredible amount of Jalens in the National Basketball Association, and I was reading a study about this yesterday. It's why it's relevant. So I was thinking of it. So reading a study about it yesterday. It's become the most popular name in professional sports, namely because of the NBA. And I guess that's all to distract. We have live fan feedback, right? So we can all talk to live family feedback, if you will, on the Drake Toll Show YouTube and Twitter. Again, 2026 radio. Got to have a YouTube channel. It's kind of part of it. Addie's in there. Curtis is in there. It's where you go to see Addie and Curtis. Addie, Curtis, say hello. Say good morning.
Good morning. Wow, that's terrible.
Someone changed all of our formats in here. Yeah. For some reason, someone erased my formats that I had built. How sad is that?
So what are we going to do when we have guests today? Guests today on video.
I don't think that's going to go very... I don't know what we're going to do, actually, is what I'm trying to say.
Do you not have these saved anywhere?
I mean, no, they were saved until someone else at our company said, you know what, these shouldn't be saved anymore. So now that's what's happening. Wah, wah. Sorry you're finding out this. I'm also finding out for the first time that we've been hijacked and robbed.
Yeah, could you do this one with a guest?
I possibly could do this one. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I'll try my best.
And then we can do something like this. We can have this on the bottom. Like, just, cover up the...
That's a good point. We could have Denton Day on the phone from Westwood One. Thank you, Addie, for...
You can pretend to be
Denton.
Curtis.
Yes.
Westwood One.
Can do those things as well. It has been brought to my attention by the live family feedback, though, that the Valonia High School baseball team, the Eagles, I have avoided the story today, but I will attack it for the next 12 seconds. Yes, they fell over the weekend to 5-10 on the season. They are now 6-10 after a midweek win against Harding Academy late last week. So that part's good. But yeah, I mean, look, I get it. Tough year. Only conference wins were against Jacksonville. Lost your rival Greenbrier 7-6. The thoughts and prayers are there. The hope is that the guys can pull it together over the course of the rest of the year. They are not. I needed to get that out of the way before the idiots of the day, because before the biggest losers of the day here, because they're not the biggest losers. There's still time, boys. There's time. The people that are the biggest losers of the day are coming up right now on Biggest Losers of the Day. Biggest loser of the day, number 1, the random Twitter folks that Addie and I have been seeing who think that these tea times. The random people, I should say, that think tea times favored Rory.
I'm not in charge of course setup. I would have liked it to have been a little bit more equal in terms of the firmness on Thursday and Friday. I was a bit surprised at how soft things were on Friday afternoon, especially as it got late in the day. But the weather also changes, and like it was a bit windy on Thursday, so who knows? It's just that's part of the game. We play an outdoor sport, and you don't know how conditions are going to change, especially course conditions. And overall, like I said, just Friday for me going out early, not being able to shoot an under par round, that definitely hurt my chances. I think I started the weekend maybe 12 back, so to get within 1 was a pretty good run.
Addie, you're the golf expert. How'd you enjoy the Masters this weekend?
Are you kidding me? I've been on Rory since day 1. No,
have you actually?
Yeah. I love Rory. Last year, you could go listen to You Better You Bet whenever it was at the BetMGM Network. I was on Rory. That's been my guy. And so going into this, I was back to back. Easily.
Touch yourself.
I just knew the work that he put into it, and people can get mad about it. We can get into that later as we keep shifting screens. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're probably about to puke.
Pull a drink till.
You're going to pull a drink till? Yes. By the way, I have family staying at this resort in Mexico right now, and you know who's staying right down the hall from them?
Anna Rossini,
Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini.
Tony Romo, and they're like, how do we go approach him? I was like, well, you have to tell them that we play that soundbite every single day on the Drake Hall show. And that he's a terrible color commentator.
Tom Sketchers suck.
You have to walk up to him and say,
It's amazing.
Pretty good. The biggest loser of the day, he said, sorry? Here is Jazz Chisholm, New York Yankees, and Tampa Bay Rays.
And down goes Dritchik. What right does he have to yell? I mean, that's not cheating. It just seems so odd. If you're not doing anything illegal, and it's kind of on you to protect the signals, the anger is misdirected. It shouldn't be on Jazz.
Well, yes and no. You're a competitor.
Right.
And you want to win. So anything that you see that's out of the ordinary, you're going to snap at a lot of times. So I don't blame Rasmussen for doing it, and I don't blame Jazz for doing it either.
Jumps on the first pitch and hits it sky high to right. Wow, was that up there? Fraley stumbles to make the play. Rasmussen's having something to say to Chisholm as he runs by. He said, I'm sorry. Wow. Oh, you don't see that very often.
No. Pitchers don't apologize to hitters very often. Only if they hit them.
Wow.
So, Jazz Chisholm's off second base. Just stealing signs, being a menace, clapping around as one does. Rasmussen's on the mound, gets a guy looking backwards K, middle, and then turns around and talks that talk to Jazz. Only for immediately after the next out, running by him like, hey, dog, sorry about that. My bad. Hand up. That's on me. Shouldn't yell at you like that. Addy, thoughts on this immediate communication and forgiveness loop that Jazz Chisholm has created with Rasmussen?
I feel like that's just Jazz Chisholm. That's his personality. You never know what you're going to get from him. And it's the greatest thing ever. It's so funny. My favorite part about that is the color commentators and what they're saying. So, yep, that's Jazz for you. That's just Jazz.
He's apologizing. He just said, I'm sorry.
Hey,
running over to him. It's awesome. Thanks for the apology. This is the story of the man and the Midwestern woman has taken over the internet the last couple of days. And biggest loser of the day, Shaq, possibly. So what happens is, was it a Pacers game? There's a video of some dude just chatting the ear off of this gal. And then she looks over, and you can see her clearly mouth, what the F are you talking about? She is, at the very least, confused, and the internet takes the video out of context, blows it up, and everybody's talking about it across the sports world to the point that Inside the NBA had the couple on the show, and Shaq said he would pay for their engagement, only for the gal to come out and say that he was like a creepy uncle, that was really weird, and she was uncomfortable, and she's ready to be done with all these sports conversations and sports shows and making these appearances. Addy, thoughts on the skinny guy and the gal from the Midwest?
So we played the sound yesterday of Shaq going I'll pay for your engagement right now. If you just do it, I'll pay for it. And it's so awkward because the guy's, that's just a weird thing to do on air, in my opinion. Do I think he was a creepy uncle? No, I just think that's just him. So,
that's
I mean,
Shaq,
it's just a little weird. It was, I get it. It's weird to put people on the spot like that, but I don't think there was any ill intent behind it.
Yeah, I think he's just unk, as the kids say. Biggest losers of the day. I don't want to rub it in. I don't want to be that guy. But the Astros do have the worst record in the AL right now.
Yep.
Addy, you are an Astros fan. Would you are you sad? Are you okay? Is this, it's April 14th, okay? The World Series is in November, so it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean they've scored the most runs in all of baseball, 95 runs. They've also allowed the most runs in baseball, 107. Hunter Brown, Tatsuya Imai, they're all on the IL. All of their pitchers, even the ones they bring up, they're leaving with some sort of discomfort, which makes you think, hey, trainers, pitching coaches, what's going on here? And you can make the argument, yeah, they're playing in the cold when they're in Seattle, but Hunter Brown was playing in what? Houston? Sacramento? So, yeah, the bats are alive. I love seeing that because you never see that with the Houston Astros this early in the season, but the pitching is atrocious, and something needs to change. It's just bad. It's bad. Carlos Correa came out and said they're just playing bad baseball, basically. So.
Sorry. I know it's not very fun. The Rangers lead the West.
My Tampa Bay Lightning are in the postseason. Rory McIlroy just won the Masters and got another date tonight, so I feel like I'm doing pretty well.
And she's going on another date with the guy. Final biggest loser of the day, St. Francis Golf. Mountaineer Invitational wrapped up this weekend. University of Arkansas, after round one, 9 under as a team. They led the field. West Virginia, 3 under. They were second in the field. 18th out of 19 teams was William and Mary. They were 21 shots over. The 19th team out of the 19, St. Francis. 52 shots over par. Last place, 52 shots over as a team. And in second to last place, William and Mary, 21 shots. 21 shots over. Blowout at the Mountaineer Invitational. Biggest loser of the day, St. Francis men's golf. Addie Bates produces, Curtis Poindexter runs the board. When we return, are women from San Antonio dead? Well, they're a part of our obituaries today and the Quickie. That's all coming up right here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. On The Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One.
Trouble all my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised. I've been in trouble. No pleasure here on earth I find. For in this world I'm bound to ramble. I had no friends to help me now. He has no friends to help me now. Never expect to see you again, for I'm bound to ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon that train. Perhaps you'll die upon this train. just a stranger. My face you never see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Everybody's talking at me. I don't hear words they're saying, only the echoes of my mind. People stop and staring. I can't see their faces, only the shadows of their eyes. I'm going where the sun keeps shining through the pouring rain, going where the weather suits my clothes, banking off of the northeast winds, sailing on summer breeze, and skipping over the ocean like a stone.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates produces. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization. Locked on Big 12. My goodness. You know, so I told you that I've been saving up for a boat because I live on the ocean. So I struck a deal on Facebook Marketplace for this boat, right? And I've got to go. All right, song's over, song's done. So I've got to go pick it up today, and I bank with a local bank still that's out of state, not in Georgia. I won't say the name of the bank, but I bank out of state, local bank, so I can call the people, the human beings there, and get answers. I say, go, good answer, as fast as I need to. Okay, so I cashier's check. That's being mailed to me. It was mailed to me on a 2-day shipping last, like Thursday or Friday. Supposed to be in Savannah yesterday at my house Monday by 9 p.m. And it was not. So I've got the tracking number pulled up. Expected delivery is now today, Tuesday, April 14th by 9 p.m., which is not good because I have to give these people the check at 11 a.m. And I see at the top of the screen on the U.S. Postal Service app, you know what? It's time for our obituaries. Yeah, dog, dead today, the United States Postal Service. So I see that, all right, great. My stuff got delayed. So much for paying for the 2-day shipping and trying to get it here as fast as possible to have it in time to give these folks, these good Facebook Marketplace folks, the cashier's check for the boat. Only to look up on the U.S. Postal Service app. And due to a typhoon and a hurricane, there are impacted deliveries in the Mariana Islands, such as Guam. So, number one, hurricanes delaying a portion of the United States from getting mail. Then I keep scrolling. Diplomatic post office suspensions. Look, I'm not well versed enough in politics to understand how diplomatic post office suspensions work. Like, I think we as society, not to get overly, I'm about to say something very political. This could get me fired. I think we as a society, politicians, power brokers, should probably not mess with the post office. I know, yeah. I get it. Controversial. I think it should be a bipartisan issue. I think it should be a bipartisan issue that we all let the post office stay open. There are currently 18, I can count maybe 20 post office zip codes where mail cannot run right now due to the diplomatic post office suspension. And then there are also 30 military post offices temporarily suspended. Like, I get the government likes to take vacations. I get we shut down sometimes to let everybody go see their kids play junior high basketball. But when I can't get my mail, that's where I draw the line.
It's almost like they don't care about it.
I don't want to say that they don't really care about us. Whatever happened to that guy, huh? I don't want to say that. They're doing a movie about him here coming up. I don't think he'll be starring in it, though. Yeah. My little cousin used to hang out with him a ton. Just idolized him.
Dog.
All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. What? Just ride rides at his house. It wasn't weird. We went to court over this multiple times, and continually the judges and juries were like, I don't know, man. It's just Michael. Just Michael doing Michael thing.
Let's just say that his place was near another person's house, and he felt like he had to save these kids from something.
Yeah. Exactly. The skinniest Jackson.
The swingingest Jackson.
Dead today. Anna Rao's hoodie? This is crazy. So, Bill Belichick, North Carolina this weekend with Jordan. She was there at the Savannah Bananas game with my boss, Jesse Cole. Anna Rao is the team photographer for the Savannah Bananas. And Bill Belichick, what does he wear? What's his staple?
Hoodie.
Yes.
Good cutoff.
So Anna's got this short sleeve hoodie she wears everywhere. It says Savannah Bananas across the front. I personally don't. I think she looks great in it. Don't love it in general. What does she do on Saturday? Sweetest person in the world. Wouldn't hurt a fly. Just calm, down to earth. Put your head down, get your job done. It's super hot at North Carolina. Takes it off, sets the dugout. Hour later, it's gone. It's been stolen, swiped. Middle of the day at rehearsals, she lost her hoodie. Until 7 hours later, emerges Jesse Cole, the owner of the Bananas, in the fifth inning. Fans, please welcome Bill Belichick. He walks out in Anna's hoodie onto the field. What the hell?
That'd make me mad.
How did a six-time Super Bowl coach get my hoodie, and why is he wearing it on the field right now? The theory that a lot of us have come up with is that at some point in the day, we realized, hey, we can't put Bill Belichick in a Bananas jersey. That's not his thing. We've got to get him one of these short-sleeve hoodies. And so surely one of the interns for the entertainment team was like, oh, it must be this one, the one they got for Bill Belichick. And they just took Hannah's hoodie and gave it to the greatest coach in NFL history who wore it on the field. And I'm not sure if she said, is it cooler if you get it back afterward or if you know that Bill Belichick kept your hoodie? What's cooler? That's the question. You answer it. What is cooler?
I don't think it's cool that he wears it at all. It's Bill Belichick.
But it
Burn
smells
it.
funny.
Yeah, burn it.
You don't like Bill Belichick?
No.
Is it because Jordan's like 26?
No. I just don't. Sure, he's the greatest coach of all time, NFL coach of all time when he has Tom Brady. Other than that, he's a terrible coach.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
You know we have affiliates all across Massachusetts.
I didn't say anything wrong. Look at his stats before and after Tom Brady.
They're fine, good people.
Hate us because they ain't us. I don't know what to tell you.
And deflated balls.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
maybe some
remove
Spygate in there.
To 2000 to 2008, George Bush was never president. I mean, yeah.
Your head looks. You look like a little rooster. You look like a little rooster right now.
Look like the thing that we add to rice.
Wow, that's crazy. Final obituary today. Women from San Antonio? Here's this. From that same Pacers couple.
My general advice for everyone out there is you got to get a beautiful Midwestern woman. They don't really make those, in San Antonio, but this one, she's good stuff.
Gosh.
He is. Every one of these videos is so awkward from these two. She's an interesting looking character, and so is he. And he really doesn't like women from San Antonio. He wants you to find someone from the Midwest.
Either just Shaq, right? Didn't he the one that said they're all gross?
Can you what, Curtis? What are you saying
Didn't
right now?
Shaq say like all women from San Antonio are like huge or something like that?
No, that was Barkley. It's the big
Barkley.
ladies from San Antonio, the big women. Yeah, the big
Dudes
women.
on the same show saying the same thing.
Yes, it's Barkley who said they don't deserve to go to Cancun. They're going to Galveston.
I love Galveston, unironically, by the way, so that's hilarious to me. I love Galveston.
Oh, that's great. It's like, they don't even deserve to go to Cancun. They're going to that muddy-ass water in Galveston. It's rocky, but it serves a purpose. Look, hey, dude, South Padre serves purpose, man. It's one of the beaches of all time, for sure. There's a needle or two. But it's at the end of the day, a beach is a beach. A Senior Frogs is a Senior Frogs, baby. Those are our obituaries today on the Drake Toll Show. That means it's time for the Quickie Top 5 headlines in all sports. Addy Bates reads them. Drake Toll responds.
All right, here you go. You know where they're coming from. UCLA's 5 first-round picks, 6 overall, set records.
Yeah. Azzi Fudd highlight last night for me. Look, this WNBA draft to revive Dallas and create a contender out of the wings. That's my storyline. Lauren Betts, Gabriela Jaquez, Kiki Rice, seeing Corey Close there in person for UCLA. That was right up there with it, though. That is just sweet to see the culmination of what Corey Close has built over 15 years at UCLA with a national championship, consecutive Final Fours, and now the Mystics, the Sky, and the Tempo all getting UCLA players out of this deal. So congratulations to the Bruins, to that program, and while Azzi Fudd is still the number one story, Dallas being a contender is the number one story, UCLA had a lot of sweet moments last night. That was cool.
Here's your second headline. Red Sox ace Garrett Crochet hammered for 11 runs and loss.
Yeah, man. This pile it on. What are you gonna do, man? 6-10 for the Red Sox. Fans chanting "sell the team." Garrett Crochet's got a 7.58 ERA. Oh, and guess what? In the game where you allowed 13 runs total, 13-6 loss to the Twins yesterday, you're Boston. You had 10 hits. The Twins had 11. You lost 13-6. How did you come out 11 hits? 11 hits, but 13 runs. Well, thanks to walks and errors. And if there are things you'd like to avoid in baseball, try walks and errors. By the time we hit the third inning, it was 11-0. Minnesota was ahead. Garrett Crochet fall apart. 1 2/3, 9 hits, 3 walks, 10 earned runs. Bad.
Third headline, Doncic to return from Spain on Friday. Status to be determined. Ooh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nothing about the vernacular surrounding Luka's injury has sounded very positive. I mean, maybe it's intentional, but pray tell, word from our European camp, everything we're hearing out of Europe that's surrounding Doncic is not confident. It's not, this is a guy who's going to step back in for the Lakers and help them compete and win right now. The injuries that derailed what otherwise was a fun Lakers team a team that finished 3-2 without Doncic and Austin Reeves, left oblique screen. That really fun story of, all right, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Bronny, come on, let's go. The Lakers, they're one of the hottest teams in basketball. That was derailed. And if Luka is not at, 90% for the postseason, the Lakers, who already did not have a chance to beat San Antonio or Oklahoma City, will definitely not have. They'll have even less of a chance to beat Oklahoma City and San Antonio without Luka at somewhere around 90%.
Here we go. Number 4, Mavericks dismiss director of health, sources say.
Okay. Remember when we had the MRI gate where we're scanning the wrong parts of our legs and the Mavericks defend their team, they defend their people, and there's this whole fall apart? Yeah, well, apparently that has nothing to do with this. The Mavericks doing this after 2025-26 was riddled with injury. So a guy that you've never heard of, Johan Billsborough, one of the names of all time, Johan Billsborough, is now ousted. Guess who hired him? It was Nico Harrison. So this is another, we leave another Nico Harrison disciple in the dust here and say goodbye to Billsborough in Dallas. What a weird, you don't see this a lot where team is so banged up they have to fire someone. Team is so injured they fire someone, but the Dallas Mavericks, comedy of errors.
Astros did that last year with their training staff, and look where they are now. Here's your final headline. Fudd goes number 1, reunites with Beckers in Dallas.
Yay! Yep, again, favorite storyline out of the WNBA last night was Azzi Fudd to Dallas alongside Paige Beckers. Gonna double down. Said it, mentioned it. Gonna go at it again. If you're in Dallas and listening, if you're in Austin and listening, if you're in Sacramento and listening, and you are a Cowboys fan, a Mavericks fan, a Wings fan, a Rangers fan, a Star, there has not been a consistent contender in Dallas, and maybe this does it. The city of Dallas just needs something, man. And I can tell you, women's basketball, it can be the shining light. You might be somebody who's like, I don't like the NBA, much less WNBA. I can't do it. If that's how you feel, man, the Baylor family felt that for a long time. No one really cared about sports in general. Then Kim Mulkey showed up one day. And when that was the only thing winning at Baylor, people bought in. They became women's basketball fans. I think Dallas just as a market, Dallas needs something that wins consistently. Championships consistently. Great regular season city. Not a championship city. Maybe this move and the Azzi Fudd drafting saves that. Addie Bates, thank you very much.
No problem.
Shine matters. And in the Shine Showdown, 84% of people chose Tidal Wave over the competition. Stop by Tidal Wave and get that clean car, happy feeling. Find locations at TidalWaveAutoSpa.com. TidalWaveAutoSpa.com. Coming up, the NHL playoffs are almost here, and the scenarios are heating up. But also, the class of 2026 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is cooling down. This is the Drake Toll Show.
I don't know why I keep on believing you need me when you've proved so many times that it ain't true. And I can't find one good reason for staying. Maybe my leaving would be the best for you. But these rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show good times, good lines, the ones I used to hear when I held you. And they keep me from feeling so cheated, defeated, when reflections in your eyes show me a fool. These rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth. So I'll just keep on hoping, believing that maybe by counting the many times I've tried, you'll believe me when I say I love you, and I'll lay these rose-colored glasses aside. These rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth.
Now one of these days I'll wake up tired of the life I'm living and feel inspired to get off my ass and be on my way. One of these days I'll wake up steady and ready to go like Richard Petty. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways one of these days.
Good morning. It's It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Curtis Poindexter runs the board. Addie Bates produces. And happy Tuesday, April 14th. Good morning, Addie.
Good morning. You just missed a great song.
What was it? I was really excited for it, too.
It's a song called Badge by Cream. Cream, like Eric Clapton's.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Cream also did Smoke on the Water?
No, that's Deep Purple.
Deep Purple. That was Deep Purple. Great segue into 310-840-4910. We missed this in the obituary, and I wanted to give it a second because you're the aficionado, and all of America can gather around this storyline. Is this the official class? Am I reading this correctly? The official 2026 class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Which is funny because the group who won the fan vote, that was New Edition, and they did not make it into the class.
Wow. How does that work? So if you win the fan vote, it does nothing for you effectively?
Sometimes it does. Like Duran a couple years back, they won the fan vote, and they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. For this one, I have no clue what happened there. So they just do that. One time they did that with Dave Matthews Band, which is fine with me, honestly. But yeah, they did the same thing here. And so New Edition is not part of this class, even though they won the fan vote.
You know who is? Luther Vandross. The ball is
nope,
tipped.
You lost.
Wait, we're done.
You lost your privileges. You lost your privileges.
There you are. Everything for your life. You can't put Luther Vandross back on the show and not expect you're a shooting star through the years. Phil Collins, Billy Idol. How are Phil Collins and Billy Idol not already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Dog, how is Thin Lizzy not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? But the Wu-Tang Clan, and that is nothing against the Wu-Tang Clan. But it's just rock and roll is getting to be that's a loose term now.
We just allowed Iron Maiden into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think Willie Nelson's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we
Dolly
just
Parton
allowed Iron Maiden in. Yep, she is. Joy Division, New Order, Oasis, Sade, Luther Vandross.
You did not just call her that. You said Sade? Sade?
Sadie?
Sade?
Oh, my gosh.
Smooth
is that real?
operator. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, it doesn't do it. It doesn't. And yes, the Wu-Tang Clan is now a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Because, of course, they are. Overall, good class, bad class. How do you rate this one?
I mean, it just depends on your definition of rock and roll. So a lot of these groups, like Joy Division, New Order, that they needed to be in there sooner because if you listen to almost any band like post-'80s, they'll tell you that was a huge influence for them. I like Phil Collins in there, Billy Idol, Iron Maiden, Oasis should be in there. I love Sade. Is she rock and roll? I don't know. Is Luther Vandross? I love both of those artists. That's nothing. That's not a diss on them. It's just what is the definition of rock and roll? I feel like we're kind of stretching that now. So it's okay. It's okay. You know who was dead last in the fan votes? Jeff Buckley.
Dead last?
Jeff Buckley.
No.
So people don't know anything. Look at that. He's right there.
Yeah. R.I.P. in peace, Jeff Buckley. The idea that Phil Collins is in there, but Genesis is not, is robbery. I don't dance. What a weird little project there, Phil. What a strange guy, that Phil Collins. I've got a friend of mine, Ian Schrift. He's from Somerset, Pennsylvania, if you needed context. And every Bananas game, pregame, Dalton Malden's one of the players. He sings "In the Air Tonight," I can feel it, live on the field. And in a restaurant one time a couple years ago, song comes on, "In the Air Tonight," over the loudspeakers at a Chili's because that's would happen. And Ian goes, "Oh my god, guys, shut up." What? He's like, they're playing Dalton's song on the speaker right now.
Oh Lord.
What are you talking about? He's like, guys, he sings this. He wrote this song. No, just so happens that was Phil Collins who sings "In the Air Tonight." We just have a player that covers it on the field. That's Ian's shout out of the day on the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. The National Hockey League's postseason is here, ish. But last night, the stakes were incredibly high. Red Wings and Lightning, Rangers and Panthers, Hurricanes, Flyers, Maple Leafs, and Stars, Wild, Blues. And it's just a stupid good night. Starting with the Stars, Maple Leafs. Dallas, already locked, 2-seed Central Division. Home ice advantage. The Wild in round one. But, man, it was the Maple Leafs that are just in a kind of a stupid spot right now. Like, you're Toronto. You're supposed to compete. You're supposed to win. You're supposed to be at the top of hockey. That's the Maple Leafs, the expectation. And they sucked this year. They're in a pretty captivating spot, by the way. 2026, first-round pick, belongs to Boston, unless they wedge it in that top 5. They're 5th in the lottery order, so they can keep it. There's a way. I mean, but they could play themselves out of that spot and ship it over to Boston. And they need to lose. If you're a Maple Leafs fan, it's silly and it's sad that you're in a spot where losing is good. But that's where you need to be if you want to keep that top 5 pick and a possibility at a top 5 pick and not give it to the Boston Bruins. If the playoffs started today, can I give you the first round and you tell me what you'd like to see? The Avalanche and the Kings. Fun, but Colorado's the best team in hockey right now. The Stars and the Wild. That's like a 6 or 7 game series. Which part of that's a virtue of, for me as a Dallas Stars fan, what I've come to expect out of Dallas is just gritty, if not lackluster postseason play, and the rotation of those two words is interchangeable. One year, gritty, man. That series was gritty. And the next series, lackluster. Oh, you won the series in 6 games? Gritty. You lost the series in 6 games? Felt lackluster. That's the Stars experience. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Utah Mammoth. I mean, glued to that. That's peak entertainment in round 1. Edmonton Oilers, Anaheim Ducks. That's one that could fly under your radar, but Edmonton picks up steam. I think they've got another shot at being a contender late here. The Boston Bruins, who at one point this season looked broken, who at one point early on looked broken. If we started the postseason today, get the Buffalo Sabres, Tampa Bay Lightning and Montreal, Carolina and Ottawa. Yeah. And then Pittsburgh and Philly. Those are my two. Pittsburgh and Philly, Vegas and Utah are probably my 2 favorite proposed series out of this. Dallas and Minnesota is another one that catches my eye. But we're on the cusp, on the precipice of locking this whole thing in. So what do we have to do to get there? Hey, you know what? Why should you care? There's layers to this, some questions to answer. Thursday, final day of the regular season. We'll decide some stuff that day as well. Like the scenarios will continue to shake themselves out. That's just a big week in hockey in general. And that goes through tonight, tomorrow, Thursday, games every night that have serious playoff implications, seeding implications in the National Hockey League. And the reason that it's the best time to care, the most wonderful time, with the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, WNBA draft, the Masters, the college baseball scene, college softball, you name it. The reason to care is I cannot fathom a much more consistent playoff atmosphere than the sport of hockey. Lend me your ear. You might be sitting right now in Redding, California, thinking, I'm just not a big hockey guy. That, yeah, you know, we can go see San Jose play. I'm not a big hockey guy. And that's okay. That's fine. You might be, there was a time in my life where my dad and my grandma, who both love sports, they would listen to local sports radio only during the fall and football season. They felt as though the rest of the year, this Arkansas sports station was a bit too gimmicky, and They didn't get what they wanted. They didn't want to hear about college baseball. They didn't want to talk about college softball or track and field. They wanted to hear about football. And so you might be the kind of person in Redding, California who says, oh, if they're talking hockey, I'm not listening to it. And I get it. San Jose fan, I understand that. But I can tell you, I lived in Waco, Texas for 5 years, and an hour and 19 minutes away from American Airlines Arena in Dallas, Texas. You take I-35 up, and on a Tuesday, you would find yourself at a Stars-Kraken playoff game. You'd find yourself at a Stars-Wild playoff game. And that atmosphere, I've been to NBA conference finals, I've been to college football national championships, I've been to March Madness games, some of the biggest sporting events in the world. I've seen them live. There is nothing crazy, I know. There is nothing that I've seen to replace that consistency of an atmosphere like hockey gives you in the postseason. Again, NBA playoff games. I've been to NBA playoff games that I've left and thought, what was the crowd doing? MLB playoff games are up there. I think the postseason of Major League Baseball brings out some of the best of fandom. But then again, you're looking at games on a Wednesday at 3 p.m. Like that's really tough when we're going to Camden Yards on a weekday midday. That's where baseball loses out. For hockey, it never ceases to be awesome. And our opportunity to watch that, even as a TV product, this postseason, to see who brings home the Stanley Cup. This time of year, consider myself grateful for the advent of hockey. For the amount of Stars playoff games that I've been to, the amount of now NHL playoff games that I've been to, this sport, this time of year, if you get it, you get it. If you watch it all year, getting to this moment, the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, to the next couple of months as we crown a Stanley Cup winner, that is as good as it gets in a sports postseason. Where other leagues are lackluster, you try to figure it out. And NFL playoff games are great too, but you know, as good as anybody, you watch sports, you know the NFL has been built for a TV product. And it doesn't quite feel like it used to. Hockey still does. And that's the beauty of us being right here in the middle of it. Coming up, let's deep dive with an expert. Sam Bruckhouse joins the Drake Toll Show. We've got much to hit on in the realm specifically. I'd like to touch a bit on the NFL draft, college football. Where do we sit transfer portal wise? Because there's a massive shakeup going on right now, and Sam has the ability to help us. This is the Drake Toll Show.
How high?
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear y'all now.
Okay, cool. So during the breaks, it's a little wonky, so I just have to talk to you through the stream instead of through Comrex.
Cool.
I love your hat, except for our team sucks right now.
Yeah, I purposely wore it for you, and I thought about it for a second.
162 games, long season, a lot of time left.
Yeah, I mean, also like the Stros, like our team does kind of suck right now, but like there's been 3 seasons in probably the last 6 where we were terrible until August, and then all of a sudden we were the best team in the league, including last year and the year prior to that.
It's just how I was actually like when they were doing well against like the Red Sox, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't normal. Actually, I was concerned. I was like, why are they good right now? I don't like this. And now they're back to typical Stros form early in the season. So
yeah, I remember two years ago, we were at the time we were working on draft stuff like very, very heavily. And so we were looking at like long-term ratings in the NFL, what should we project towards? And I was like, well, if you look at baseball right now, like the Astros are a bottom 5 team and they're technically a top 5 team. Like they're probably going to make the playoffs and probably make the ALCS again. And sure enough, that's what they did. Maybe it was 3 years ago, but It's interesting franchise at this point, but nonetheless.
Hey, are you back in New York now?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, dude,
For
y'all are like
1 week.
Where are you going next?
I'm going to Atlanta for the draft. We're doing our draft show in Atlanta next week.
Y'all are growing so much, and I absolutely love it. I love seeing everything y'all are doing now. Holy
I
crap!
appreciate it. It's been fun.
Oh my goodness, yeah, and you're just all over the place now. That's so awesome.
Very, very much all over the place for sure. I think I've been on the road for work since January 18th, like 6 weeks or 7 weeks. It's been a wild time.
Can't replace that.
Yeah, I'm like letting my lease go in New York and just like vibing for a couple months because I'm like, this is berserk.
So this is Drake. So you'll be with Drake.
Good morning. Thanks for being up so early with us.
Yeah, no problem. I think I've been on with y'all before, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have, and then Denton sometimes snipes you as a guest for the late night show.
Yep.
Real dichotomy.
Excited to be a Westwood One regular.
Dude, just I realize I haven't asked you to like be a guest in like 2 months, and I was like, oh wow, this is wrong. I did something wrong because you're usually, I will like reach out like once a month. Like I want to send like the Bernie Sanders, like I'm once again asking you to join the show.
Yeah, my pleasure. I love being on.
Curtis, how much time do we have? Okay, we have
90
seconds. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we'll keep it. Sam, I don't know if you've heard of Fernando Mendoza. We'll probably start there.
I'm quite familiar with him.
And I'll unload some fairly easy ones thrown in there. We won't get into the nitty-gritty until probably Wednesday of next week when we get into who's our favorite 6th round tight end prospect. That's next week's show.
We could get into it. The funny thing with the tight ends this year is like people are freaking out about Sadiq at the top, but like you start getting into like 50s with the 50s and 60s, like Eli Stores, and like I'm not fully convinced like he's not as good as Sadiq. Like people just freaked out about the combine, which is okay. Like it's okay.
The Utah kid, the Dallin kid. I mean, he's a 5th, 6th rounder if he even gets drafted. Like there's depth at tight end in this draft class. I love.
Yeah, that's generally the case about the tight end position, and that's why like the Pitts thing is extremely exemplary of this. Of like, oh great, now we have to franchise Kyle Pitts because he made an All-Pro in year 5. That's like a standard discussion with them.
Let's see.
How much time, Curtis?
Oh, that's good. Okay, perfect. Nice. All right, let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna bail out of here. It'll just be y'all. Thank you so much again.
And there he comes. Sam Bruckhouse joining the Drake Toll Show. Sam, Fernando Mendoza. All right. Kirk Cousins. I would love to know what his agent did, who he sold his soul to exist in the context that he does now of just making money hand over fist for Kirk Cousins and ultimately himself. Does that signing in Las Vegas shake up Fernando Mendoza being a lock at 1-1 in the NFL draft?
It absolutely does not. And I think when you really dive deep into the data, there's a lot we don't know about quarterbacks. And one of the things that we do know is a little, pedantic to say. It's easy to say. It makes a lot of sense. Is that players on good teams, quarterbacks on good teams tend to perform better. Like the quarterback very much is a subject of their environment, of the stability of the environment. And so I think what the Kirk Cousins signing is trying to do, especially given you got a guy like Tom Brady who's involved in ownership, is saying that we know that there's not a great correlation between when you start a guy and the success he's going to have long term. But there is a correlation between the team being settled. And so I think there's these two lines, right? There's the line of when Mendoza may be ready to play. It could be week 1. It could be week 6. It could be next year. And the line of when the Raiders kind of know what they have with their team. We know Colton Miller's good. We know Ashton Genty should be good. Tyler Linderbaum is a great addition for a fat price. But pretty much outside of that, it's a lot of question marks. So I think what the Kirk Cousins signing is trying to do is just buy them time with the number 1 pick. Because the reality, Drake, of the number 1 pick is that on average, that is a $20 million player. That's a Justin Fields. That's a Malik Willis. That's the average of what you can expect from a number 1 quarterback. And I think anything that can get you from, the Justin Fields who, started a bunch of games on his rookie contract, ends up starting some games for the Steelers and the Jets afterward, to, the CJ Strouds of the world who, we still have questions about right now, but he is a starting quarterback, or the Jaden Daniels of the world, or the Caleb Williams of the world. Anything that you can do to get to that point, I think they're going to try to do. And I think the Drake May signing, the Cousins signing is a lot like the holding Drake May for 6 weeks. I think that's the maximum impact that it's going to have. I think Mendoza is still a lock at 1-1.
That was the storyline for me, right? The Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza and how Vegas was handling that until the Ruben Bain news hit the pipeline. And was it Schefter? It was McShay. Somebody came out and was like, well, we've known this and GMs have known this. And the Ruben Bain, yes, he was behind the wheel in 2024 during the crash to Miami. And now as fans, as those of us who aren't, Adam Schefter or McShay, we hear it for the first time and go, oh, this is a bombshell. But it seems like at the top level, franchises, high level reporter, no one's freaking out. Give me the litmus test on this with Ruben Bain and now the news, the public news, where in a fatal crash, he was a driver. Does it genuinely affect his draft stock at all? That's where I'm getting.
My understanding, given the reporting, is that it was a quantity from the family of the deceased, unfortunately, where the facts of the case really made up that this was just an absolute tragedy. And I think there were a lot of questions about why Ruben Bain was, quote, dropping in the consensus big board. Typically, when we see a player drop in the consensus big board, it either means one of two things. It means there are outstanding character concerns. James Pierce comes to mind for that. Or there's like just a weird break of how the draft is going to go. And Luther Burden kind of comes to mind with that, where Luther Burden just had like a tough, weird last year where Brady Cook, who was a fringe Heisman candidate at a time, played really poorly. And all of a sudden, Luther Burden ends up going in the second round after being a certified top 10 pick the year prior and for much of the season. And so I do wonder to a certain degree if Mekhi Lemon is going to be that guy. Discussions about weird draft interviews. I kind of wonder if that's just the Rams saying that, and the Rams see a match in heaven with Mekhi Lemon, but that's a total sidebar. When it comes to Ruben Bain, typically when you see a guy dropping like that, it is because of those concerns that we don't know about. I think this one was probably priced in, and with regards to Ruben Bain in particular, I think what's pushing him down the board right now is a little bit of draft game theory going on. I think we're in a situation where we could see between 3 to 5 tackles go in the top 15 picks. And I think teams are really, really starting to worry about that. And the kind of canary in the coal mine about this will be what happens at pick 3. I think the Arizona Cardinals have Elijah Wilkinson, who they have on a very small contract, basically prove-it deal after Elijah Wilkinson at the right tackle position slid in and played very well at right tackle every single game for the Atlanta Falcons last year. Doesn't end up getting a big contract. He's a career swing guy across the guard and tackle positions. And there's a real chance that the Cardinals feel certified, at least for this year at the tackle position. They think they can trade back and force one of these teams, maybe, a team like the Dallas Cowboys, maybe another team in the mix who is looking for a tackle, Detroit Lions, I'm thinking about in particular, who just fall in love with one of these tackles, including Francis Mauigoa, Spencer Fano, Monroe Freeling, Caden Proctor. There's a big group of guys all the way to Ian Aker from Arizona State that I think could go. And I think because of that rush of tackles, Bain could fall 5 to 10 picks as a result.
Like Caleb Lomu, throw in there. The list of players there goes so deep, and I like the point on the Cowboys possibly making a big move. But we would need probably another hour to discuss that draft strategy. I want to know though, in that position, kind of this edge position, and it goes all the way back to the late first round where a Keldrick Falk is there. You're seeing more and more pomp and circumstance around that position, the edge. At the top of college football, a David Bailey or a Arvell Reese. Is the depth there unique for this draft? Because I go all the way to Romello Height that I think could make waves in this draft and think, man, that just the list of names at that position group is stunning to me.
I think it's interesting because if you take a little step back, think of the top 4 teams in this league right now. They are all built off the defensive tackle position. So you think about the Seattle Seahawks. You're dealing with Jaron Reed. You're dealing with Big Cat Leonard Williams. You're dealing with Byron Murphy. Yeah. Go over to the Patriots. You're dealing with Milton Williams, and you're dealing with Christian Barmore. Let's go to the championship, right? The Denver Broncos. You're going to have to deal with Zach Allen every single day. And then the Rams, Kobe Turner, Poona Ford, Braden Fisk. And so I think that the more kind of adept teams right now are winning by preventing the run with 4 players, primarily with defensive tackles. So with respect to your question in particular, I think that's just because there's a lot of questions at the defensive tackle position in particular this year. And so people are more willing to just go to an edge rusher that feel good can rush the passer because there's no true 3-down defensive tackles in this draft. You think of guys like Peter Woods, a lot of question marks around him. He was another guy who fell down the consensus big board. He was supposed to be, a top 5 pick on the consensus. He's now at 29. Kane McDonald, pure run stuffer, not great pass rusher. Caleb Banks, you're going to start talking about, fitness problems, injury problems. Lee Hunter, fitness problems, injury problems. My favorite part of this draft for the defensive tackles is like 72-80, where you're starting to get in solidly in day 2. And I really like Grayson Halton and Darrell Jackson Jr. I think those potentially could just be the 2 best interior linemen in this draft. And I mentioned all that to say, I think the edges have gotten pushed up as a result. You have Bailey, Bain, who are the true production guys. You have Reese, who's the projection guy. And then you have a bunch of older guys such as Keem Mesidor, Cassius Howell, who have produced and are transfer ups, which is something that in particular the Rams have highlighted at the edge position that they really like. You think of the guys on their defensive line, Kobe Turner, transfer up. Braden Fisk, transfer up. Jared Verse, transfer up. Last year they drafted Josiah Stewart, transfer up. So I think there's just a better meta for the edge rushers in particular in this draft to get drafted highly as it pertains to there's not those premium defensive tackles that we've seen in the last couple of drafts that can kind of fill those spots for defenses.
Sam, incredible stuff. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Sam Bruckhouse on the Drake Toll Show. Excited to do it again here soon within the next week.
My pleasure.
And there he goes. Sumer Sports. You can find him, Sam Bruckhouse, on Twitter, at Sam Bruckhouse, Bruchhaus. I think down to Romello Height, the edge position in this NFL draft class is that list of names is as impressive as I can remember it. And it does start with the David Baileys of the world, the Reeses of the world, guys who you were watching across the college football playoff last season that anchored their college football teams, because that is the metric, the barometer for success for NFL and college football teams at this point, the defensive line, getting to the quarterback. Coming up, time for our Idiot of the Day, Diana Rossini. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This
go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king gets his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country, you need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation, glad they conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down, the champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch, he lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to brawl. gods I have known. Yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo Kendall. I guess time does make fools of us all.
April 14th, the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates produces, Curtis Poindexter runs the board, and Lone Star, Mr. Mom, brings us into the 8 o'clock hour on the East Coast. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization. Locked on Big 12. Amazon Fire TV's college football kickoff. I was the Lion in my 4th grade play, The King of the Jungle. You may remember me from there, Valonia, Arkansas. And boy, was it something. The Masters this weekend, watching Rory, that chase, that race till the very end, waiting for him to Rory it away, choke it away. Nope, wrong. Eggs on my face. Turns out Rory good, possibly top 5 in golf history. NBA playoffs are here tonight. Is the play-in. Yeah, we begin the play-in, at least. And I think tonight's the beginning of the Hornets making a bit of a run, making some noise. 9th place versus 10th place. Hornets and Heat tonight on Prime Video in Charlotte. Blazers at the Suns. Also Prime Video. Yeah, baby. Hope you're paying those bills every month. Just another way to watch the NBA. And then on Wednesday, Warriors, Clippers, Magic, and 76ers. That Warriors-Clippers game, man, the Warriors are 37-45 this year. And they're in the playoff play-in. I don't think the play-in does much for me. I like when the 1 seed plays the 8 seed, and we just do it that way, do it like that. But you know what? Whatever, man. I don't call the shots there. This is not my circus, and so I'll leave it be. In the NHL postseason, we're set. We've got our teams, but now we're set. We have our teams. We need to know our matchups. That's the most important part. We've got our 16, but the matchups themselves, who will play who? Not all of those are set. We do know the stars. I love the Stars and the Wild. I love the Stars and the Wild matchup. It is top 3 for me of what we'll see in round one already. Out of if it started today, that's like a circle it, want to see it, 6 games, gritty series. Addie Bates produces, Curtis Poindexter runs the board, and it's time for our idiots of the day.
Idiot of the day.
Oh, no. So evidence upon evidence continues to come out about Diana Russini and Mike Vrabel. Yeah. There was a time last week, if I can tell you something honest on this show. There was a time last week where I thought this is a one-day story. We talk about Vrabel and Russini one time this morning, and it kind of fades into the abyss because it'll be oversaturated with all the sports talk that will formulate around it. Wrong. The reason that I feel so compelled to continue to revisit this is because it is a top story in sports, and nobody will talk about it. Nobody is. I turn on the national networks, and no one is having a conversation outside of it seems like Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app about Diana Russini and Mike Vrabel because, oh no, Diana's my friend, and she used to work for our network. I mean, that's what it seems like, these big sports entities, these big letters, the acronyms, what they're doing right now. Oh, but I love Mike Vrabel, and I don't want to lose access to the Patriots. Look, dog, if you are giving sports opinions based on whether or not you'll have access to Diana Russini or Mike Vrabel, if you're giving sports opinions and takes based on the radio or TV based on whether or not you make the NFL mad, then I don't. If I walked into a bar tomorrow in Hudson, Wisconsin, there wouldn't be a dude at the table who said, "Hey guys, we should stop talking so mean about Roger Goodell in the NFL. We should probably lay off those guys a little bit, okay?" No one would say that. No, you let it rip. You have conversations that are very open, transparent, and sometimes bleak about the National Football League and these main storylines. The Diana Russini, Mike Vrabel thing, I don't need access to the Patriots camp tomorrow. I want to tell you what I think, unabridged, about the situation, and I will continue to do so. And you know who else will tell you unabridged how she feels about the situation pertaining to her marriage? Diana Russini. Here's a clip from Ryan Russillo in 2025. This is from last year about Russini and Mike Vrabel.
You once said to me, I think it's one of the nicest compliments I've ever gotten, was that you thought that I was a lot like Mike Vrabel. What? I still can't believe Tennessee let this guy go. I think he's that good of a coach. The quarterback situation was challenging. The roster wasn't all that great, and they were in it all the time. I mean, we can go over and make some knocks here or there, but like that team was not as good as those other AFC teams. And you go back to the year they were the 1 seed and all that kind of stuff. I think the Patriots clearly were like, let's not screw around with this. I'd be surprised. Granted, we'll see what happens with the rest of the roster because it's one of the worst rosters in the NFL. But I'd be surprised if it doesn't work because they're going to be obviously patient in a way they weren't with Mayo because of the relationship.
Yeah, you should scream to the world. In fact, you should put it on any dating app if you are on one that someone once said that you're like Mike Vrabel. Like that's a...
The quote of, you should scream it to the world. You should put it on every dating app that someone said that you're like Mike Vrabel. So, she's only always spoken really oddly highly of Vrabel. Then they're caught in Sedona by what looks like a private investigator, holding hands, sitting in a hot tub together, lounging by the pool. Addie, I haven't seen Diana Russini do this with John Harbaugh. I have not seen Diana Russini do this with... no, I actually haven't seen her do it with Liam Cohen. I haven't. I thought for a second maybe, but no. Her and Bill Belichick didn't even do this. Robert Kraft, she's exonerated. Why do you think she did it with just Mike Vrabel?
Couple things here. If I ever tell someone, hey, you remind me of Arch Manning, hey, come on now. You know what that means. You know what that means, okay? But here's the other thing. We had John Lund on yesterday talking about how he has actually been to this resort. He has been there. He spent $1,500 on a date night meal there, which he was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. He says that place is locked down. It's for couples only, really. Like, that's really what it's for. There's not going to be any kids or anything like that. He said this is a place where you take your significant other if you have a lot of money. And there's not going to be TMZ or anything around there because it's locked down. So it is a private investigator. Come on now. Why hasn't she done this with anybody else? I don't know. Stay close with your sources, I guess, if you find them attractive.
How do I get ambient hotel money? How do I get into that resort? So I can take pictures of Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini holding hands. That's what I want to do.
You got banana money.
How does one
banana bucks?
How does one become a private investigator too? The law can't hold me. I don't want to be an investigator for the law.
I kind of want to do that. So, Curtis, I feel like we could be really good private investigators. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Curtis would know.
Investigating
What
the
would Curtis do?
Yes, Curtis will investigate your private.
Touch yourself. What about Curtis made you be like, you know what? I want him as my private investigator buddy. Curtis would be great comedic relief. I feel like Curtis probably has. This is the vibe I get from him after talking to him for months now. He's got like a keen sense of smell. I could foresee, like, yeah. Addie, you'd have to change your name to like Nitro. I'm Nitro. That's Blip. We're the private investigators.
I feel like
who's
Curtis
the third
and I
guy?
would be like the penguins of Madagascar.
Curtis isn't even Blip. Blip's a whole nother person you brought in here from Nigeria who's now in your scheme. And why can't they be from Nigeria? Blip.
I don't know. Why would I be bringing people? Why can't Curtis be
You're
Blip?
bringing in because you're already... No, because the person says... Because you say, I'm Nitro, that's Blip. And the guy says, well, who's the third guy? He said, that's Curtis. He's the smell guy. And he's just really good at sniffing around.
He will investigate all the private matter.
Yeah. He investigates your privates and goes, huh, no deodorant. Like, nice, Curtis. No sign of deodorant, Blip. Nitro, come, quickly. I've caught a scent.
No.
It's just Curtis over there, nose to the ground, cheek on the pavement.
This
chew
is
gum?
so crazy. You've like have this whole thing already like pictured. It's like you fantasized about
It
this
has the
one day.
victim's DNA. Blip, Nitro.
Oh, I've been sick too. My smelling's not so great lately, so.
And then, like, episode 4 of season 4, they've run out of ideas, so it's just Curtis at the fair. Nitro, Blip, it smells like cotton candy. It's just him. He becomes the crux of the... This happens in every Danny McBride show as they reach a point where things just fizzle out and start doing stuff. And inevitably, Curtis will be shot 3 times over the course of this series, but never die.
Poor Curtis. He's like,
It's just-
I can already
it's the
tell right
Danny
now. He's
McBride
like,
art.
damn it. Shot 3 times, but never killed. He's like, damn it.
They need me to take, a shot from the front and the back, whatever it is.
You would. I like that. I just created a little Blip and Nitro.
I know, you like fantasize about it.
This one's crazy. DoorDash, idiot of the day today. The DoorDash sent, I guess, or this lady signed up for. I don't know how this happened, but this lady showed up at the White House to give a talk about what is it, taxing tips?
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah.
No tax on
Here
tips.
is
Yes.
Here's her interaction with the president.
They want to have men playing in women's sport. Do you think that men should play in women's sports?
I really don't have an opinion on that.
You don't, I'll bet you do.
No, I'm here about no
Pizza.
tax on tips.
Yeah.
Pizza.
The hilarious part is she says, I don't have an opinion. Oh, yes, you do. Then she says, I'm here for, and she stutters just long enough. She leaves it just open long enough where he says, pizza. He might have thought she was a delivery driver bringing pizza to the White House. What are your thoughts on this? She's like, I'm here to talk about pizza, tax on tips.
Oh, you mean that
Pizza?
thing that they ran on and haven't done?
Yes, the pizza.
Curtis, and wait, really quickly, in the chat, because I said we're the penguins of Madagascar, RMOM says, Curtis is clearly Rico, and Drake is Skipper, and I'm Kowalski. Do you remember Rico's the one that just like eats dynamite?
I was gonna edit a picture
Blip!
of our heads on 3 penguins within the hour.
Blip! Nitro! Smelled like grade A cannabis. What should we do?
Stay off the weed.
Curtis would be able to be like, oh, I know exactly which strain this is. I got it, guys.
Yeah, he would, like,
I do
Curtis,
the thing
back
where
on
if you're
track.
out in public and you kind of smell it, it's just like,
yeah, right. That smells loud. I always the same say, oh, that's loud. And it's just Curtis over there. Like, Nitro, lock in. We're looking for the culprit. Curtis is. Guys, can tell this one's strong. We have to test it. By rule, Curtis. By rule. Pizza. The idiot of the day, Boston Red Sox. What am I even watching right here? This audio courtesy of Nesson, maybe? We'll figure out who's courtesy of.
And then settled in. So you hope that's going to be the case.
Ground ball up the middle. Story diving for that. On the glove, it rolls. 1 run is in. Here comes the second runner to score. That was a bizarre play as it squirted away from Story, and he lost his glove. And it is 4-0 Minnesota. What an ugly start.
Yeah, Trevor tried to make a play here to save the inning, get that force out at second, and it's just a play. He cannot try to make this glove flipping his body over like that. I mean, you have to be perfect. It would have been an outrageous play for him to do, but it cost the team another run. You do a great job of getting to the ball and stopping it, but it looked like he tried to turn and glove flip that to second base, but his glove comes.
Great Story moment at shortstop. Dives, awesome play, and then he goes to glove flip to second base and just flips the glove off the ball into right field.
You see it squirted out?
It did. And a comedy of errors for the Boston Red Sox. Crochet allows, 9 earned? 10 earned? They were down 11-0 within 2 innings. Bad. And then finally, idiot of the day, is it the Pope? For being soft on crime. The president tweets, or he truth socials, Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible at foreign policy. Usually I like my popes to be tough on crime, but not this one, huh? The Pope is weak on crime is one of the craziest sentences to ever come out of a human being's truth social. But sure enough, the soft on crime Pope strikes again. It's from the Pope in the south side of Chicago, by the way. Coming up, let's do it. We gotta talk hockey, man. Nick Zararis joins the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
The NFL Draft is next Thursday.
You got me, Nick? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you.
Cool. Sweet. Addy, you got him? Oh, Addy's got the cat. Okay, yeah, you'll get there. Nick, how's Locked On Oilers country right now?
Waiting for the playoffs. They probably need help. They need the Golden Knights to lose tomorrow if they want to win the division. Otherwise, the game on Thursday has absolutely no point. So wait and see.
Is that all the Locked On stuff this week? Has that been all 5 days of coverage? Is just endless scenario?
Pretty much, yeah, for a while now, because until last night, we didn't have the 8 teams even locked into spots, and they're not locked into spots yet, but we at least have the 8 teams now.
In the postseason? Yeah.
Oh,
I know. So I do. I just actually hit 4 years. Locked On Big 12. Started with Baylor. Now I'm Big 12. So I know we haven't crossed over there, which why would we ever have Locked On Oilers on Big 12 crossover? But have followed your stuff, followed the channel for a while. So thanks for coming on this morning.
Always glad to help out within the network. And at the end of the day, this is talking about hockey. So I would do this for free.
Where else would you rather be?
Exactly. Who's got it better than us?
Here now, you're all good on your end? Addie? All right. Yeah, Addie?
No, it's good. Sorry. No, I was trying to mute myself because it was creating an echo for Curtis. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, it's kind of funky, our StreamYard setup, Nick. But basically what we'll do is we're probably about a minute and a half out of break here. I'll pop out with my StreamYard audio.
Yeah.
Curtis's studio audio comes back in, so you'll hear Addie and I both through that feed. And then we'll talk high level storylines. It's probably a little bit too. We have 16 teams here. It's too far out to talk nitty gritty and who's in goal for Game 3. So we'll start broad and then get you in and out here in about 12 minutes.
Sounds great.
Cool. All right, Addie, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you so much, Nick.
Of course, always glad to help.
I know. I realized we're in playoffs now. So I was like, I gotta get everything. So, and my Tampa Bay Lightning, they're in, so everything's fine with me. So
they look good. We'll talk about them for sure.
Hell yeah. All right, Curtis, how much time? Okay, 90 seconds. I'm gonna mute myself here, but Drake can still be able to talk.
It is the Drake Toll Show. Wow, that is. You gotta warn me before you do that next time. That is sensual. That sound is sensual right there. Curtis Poindexter runs the board and drops ball knowledge on you. 8 o'clock hour Eastern Time. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization. Locked On Big 12, right here on the Drake Toll Show. And the National Hockey League exists, man. And that's why I'm grateful. I told you the anecdotes, the stories about going to Dallas Stars playoff games when I lived an hour and a half away. It was your Tuesday night because there's nothing like playoff hockey. And it's unique. It's incredibly unique. And those home ice atmospheres are irreplaceable. And Nick Zararis, now joins the Drake Toll Show. Locked on Oilers, founder of the Hockey Theory. Nick, look, the Colorado Avalanche, there was a point this year where I thought they may never lose again. Like, it just, where they made, mind-boggling to see a team, the way they racked up points through early January even, at 31-2-7 at one point. And while they look more human, or have at least looked more human over the course of the last 20 or so games of the season, it still feels like it's got to be their world that we're all living in. Is that the case? Is it still the Avs league?
So at face value, this is the biggest gap we've seen at the top in a little while. We've had closer races last year. Winnipeg and Washington were pretty close for the President's Trophy the year before. I forgot who it was that was right behind the Rangers. I believe it was the Stars within 3 or 4 points. But Colorado got out to such a big lead. We had the Olympic break, and a lot of teams since the Olympic break have kind of been in holding patterns where, other than the ones fighting for their lives, a lot of these teams that have had playoff spots locked up for 2 or 3 months haven't been pushing the throttle all the way down. Colorado's been resting guys over the last week or so, lingering injuries. They didn't dress Makar or Kadri last night in their game against the Oilers. But on paper, the only real weakness is their power play hasn't been great in the regular season, but it's been a lot better since the deadline when they added Kadri. And then their goaltending gives me a bit of pause because Scott Wedgwood has 3 career playoff appearances. He's never started a playoff game. He's got great regular season numbers, but I'm always weary of the guy who has been a tandem or a backup goalie going into his first playoffs, and after starting more games than he's ever played in a regular season, the physical toll of what the next 2 months would be like for a guy who's never played 55, 60 regular season games, it's going to accumulate at a certain point. Their backup, Mackenzie Blackwood, has been perfectly adequate when he's played, but generally speaking, the teams that win the Stanley Cup, we see them have the same starter 15 or 16 of the wins they have in the postseason. A lot of the time when you go to that backup goalie, you're not doing too hot in the playoffs.
If goalie's the conversation, may I propose you a Jake Ottinger here in the Dallas Stars? That's maybe my favorite right now to make noise. And Dallas Stars fans are looking for that. Like, please, at some point, just win the Stanley Cup. Can we just, for the first time in probably it's 25, 27 years, 99, something like that. Nick, for the Stars, is Jake Ottinger that answer? Is he the one that delivers that this season? Is this a title contender?
We've seen Jake Ottinger reach incredibly high highs. That first round series against the Flames, I believe it was 4 years ago now, is some of the best goaltending we've ever seen. Jake Ottinger saved more goals in that series than Darcy Kemper saved the entirety of the Avalanche playoff run when they won the Stanley Cup. For context, 7 games versus 19. And then you think about where Dallas has been. They've been to 2 straight conference finals. They went to the Cup finals 6 years ago now. They've been lingering around the periphery for a while. The playoff format is rough when you have really difficult matchups because the Central Division has been a lot better the last couple of years than the Pacific side of things. By the time you get to that conference final and you play Edmonton or Dallas, you've already gone, Edmonton or Vegas, and you go through Dallas, or you go through Colorado or Minnesota, or in years past Winnipeg. That toll really builds on you. And that would be the other argument against Colorado, that they would play the winner of Dallas, Minnesota in round 2. And that's probably the toughest matchup you're going to get in the playoffs in their entirety. So Dallas is right there. I think behind Colorado, who have been the best team in the regular season, I love what Dallas has on the high end. They got to get healthy, though. Heiskanen's been out the last couple games. We'll see if he's ready to go for game 1. Ditto Rope Hintz, who's missed a lot of games since the Olympic break where he got hurt playing for Finland. Rantanen missed quite a few games upon the return from Olympic play. So they got to get healthy. That was a problem for them last year. Jason Robertson was injured going into the playoffs. He wasn't 100% when he came back in, but he's been lights out this year. Rantanen, when he's played, he's been great. They need Thomas Harley to get going a little bit. He's tailed off since the Olympics, but on paper, that's probably the second best team in the West.
Nick Zararis joining the Drake Toll Show to talk the NHL as we get to the postseason. We know our teams. We know our 16. It's now the matchups that still have to fall in place, aside from a few that we already are aware of. And you mentioned the Stars and the Wild. This feels like a 6-game slugfest, knockdown, drag-out slog of a series. Is that the case? How do you analyze Stars Wild?
So the Wild since the Olympic break have definitely looked a little worse for wear. They had quite a few players go represent a litany of countries, quite a few guys playing in the gold medal game for the United States. That's a team with a lot of miles on the tread. That is a general manager who is feeling the heat. Bill Guerin and the Wild have never won a playoff series with him as the GM. They went all in to go get Quinn Hughes. They paid the huge asset cost up front back in December. If they don't win this series, there's a non-zero chance people start losing jobs and start from scratch. But they haven't been great since the Olympic break. On paper, I think there's a clear depth advantage for Dallas. Minnesota, I would lean the only thing Minnesota has going for them. They probably have the best individual talent between the two teams in Kirill Kaprizov, who can go a little crazy in a playoff series. But I think Dallas definitely has an edge there, and I would lean in that 6-game ballpark just because Minnesota historically has never really broken through. They've won one playoff series in 15-plus years. They have a lot of good players, but I think Dallas's quality at the top of their roster really sets them apart. Dallas can argue they have one of the 5-6 best defensemen in the world, one of the 5-6 best wingers in the world in Rantanen, one of the 5-10 best goal scorers in Jason Robertson, whereas Minnesota, once you get past Kaprizov up front, there's a bit of a drop-off to the next best forward.
Minnesota will get Anaheim at home tonight, and being at home should be it is much needed given the back half of what their schedule has looked like. The other matchup, and there is a buzz already. I found it awesome. The NHL tweeted a graphic last night that was Penguins Flyers, and just the comments are already blowing up. The feud between two cities in Pittsburgh and Philly that get to meet in the postseason. That electricity will carry me for the next 2 weeks. How electric is a matchup like that to see in round one of the National Hockey League's postseason?
It's been a while since both of these teams have been good at the same time. The last time they met in the playoffs, 2017, the Penguins kind of steamrolled them on the way to winning the Stanley Cup. They won, and I want to say 5 games. There was a Jake Gensel 4-goal game in there that really set the tone for that Penguins playoff run to go back-to-back. The last time these teams both met, and they were in relatively similar standing in 2012, is one of the great YouTube deep dives you can do. I highly recommend you take some time out of your workday today and go and look through the various line brawls, the coaches standing on top of the benches, screaming at each other, the injuries, and just the sheer volume of offense. A lot of 5-3, 6-3 chaotic games. It's been a little while, and both of these teams are in the pleasant surprise mode. Neither of them really expected to be here. The Flyers at one point were down to like 3% chance to make the playoffs at the beginning of the month and have rattled off quite a run of form as other teams around them have wilted. There's no real DNA to that previous iteration other than Sean Couturier. He's the only holdover from 2012 who's still there versus Crosby, Malkin, Letang, who've all been there since it seems like my entire life. But that is as good as it gets. And we'll see. Those two teams are on relatively even footing, so hopefully we get a good series out of those two because it's been a while.
Who is, of this field of 16, which team could be recently it was as recent as the Florida Panthers over the Boston Bruins, that team that out of nowhere, you're like, well, that's A, unexpected, B, not good for the top dogs of the National Hockey League. Who's that team that sits five seed or lower that you foresee could go on a run?
So the playoff format in the NHL is weird, where we do division for 1, 2, 3 in both, and then wild cards. Because technically speaking, the Tampa Bay Lightning are a 6 seed as of right now. That could change. Right. Montreal could fall into that spot as well. But one of those two teams. But if you want to talk amongst the wild cards, Ottawa's been playing playoff games for basically a month and a half now, and they've been dealing with a variety of injuries. At one point, they were down 4 of their 6 normal defensemen. They were down to a 3rd organizational goalie, and they've played really good hockey over the last month in the absence. I mean, Thomas Chabot broke his arm the first week of March. He came back within 2 weeks of a 6-week prognosis, and they've been running really hot for the last few weeks. Their underlying numbers look really good. They are not getting lucky. They are out shooting. They are out expected goaling, out high danger chancing, all the key metrics you want to see of a team on a heater that's really sustainable. And that's a team that forechecks very well, that plays good defense. And when Linus Ullmark is on, and granted, it's been a good year and a half since Linus Ullmark has been an actively good goalie in this league, they could definitely sneak up on somebody, especially depending on how the seeding shakes out and who they play in the first round. Ottawa has all of the makings of a really annoying first round opponent that's going to be a tough out.
Yeah, really good explanation there, too, of the perceived seed line and where these teams that sit on the lower half of the NHL in the postseason could make noise. The Oilers, who you cover so closely, Locked On Oilers, Nick Zararis, by the way, joining the Drake Toll Show here, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Now comes down to matchup, seeding, who you face, and what is the story to follow for Oilers fans, for fans of the NHL, as it pertains to how this will shake out? Because the Anaheim Ducks, if it ended today, are the ones who will wait.
So we'll know in short order. Vegas plays Seattle on Wednesday night. If Vegas wins that game, there's nothing Edmonton can do. And the Oilers would play Anaheim in the second round. It just depends if they would have home ice advantage or not. The big storyline for the Oilers is health. Draisaitl hasn't played since March 13th. He got hurt against Nashville. They've been very cagey about if he's going to be ready for game number 1 or not. He started practicing this past weekend. It remains to be seen if the Oilers are going to start this upcoming weekend on Saturday or Sunday, if they'll be in the A or B block of playoff games. That Zach Hyman's missed the last 3 regular season games. Jason Dickinson's missed the last 2 regular season games. They have a lot of injuries and to key players, and this is a very top-heavy team that really is going to be dependent on their power play the way they've been the last couple of years in the playoffs to close the gaps they have in their depth. This is the weakest Oiler team on paper in several years. You can make an argument this might be the weakest Oilers team since pre-COVID when you look player by player, but they've dragged it along the last month or so. McDavid's played at an MVP caliber level, and that's been enough to get them back into the divisional mix. 3 weeks ago, this was a team that was in danger of falling entirely out of a playoff spot. So you give kudos where it is. But when we get to the playoffs, this team has played Anaheim, very high-scoring games, not a lot of defense, and that's not a great place to be in a postseason series. You don't want to end up in a lot of those 5-4, 6-5 games because those don't bode well for your long-term prospects in the postseason. You might win that first-round series against Anaheim, but you go from that high-scoring environment to a drag-out, white-knuckle, hold on to your seat against Vegas in round 2 or Utah in round 2. That's a lot more of a challenge to get it back on the tracks. The Oilers got to get healthy, though, if we're going to entertain conversations of a third straight deep run.
Nick, it's always tough to do a Locked On Big 12, Locked On Oilers crossover. Maybe the day will come. There are Oklahoma State, I think, is reinvesting into college hockey quite a bit, so maybe we have a chance the next couple of years, but this made too much sense. Nick, thanks for coming on the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, especially this early in the morning and giving us the perspective.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. There he goes. Nick Zararis, joining the Drake Toll Show, Zararis, at Nick Zararis on social media, founder of The Hockey Theory, host of Locked On Oilers as well. Yeah, I mean, it's those, if you were to build a seed line of a 1 through 8, those teams on the back end, who at 6, 7, 8, who as these perceived lowest seeds in the NHL could be a threat? That's a question this time of year that I wanted. That, like, what if the Anaheim Ducks, Philadelphia Flyers, the Canadiens, I mean, the Lightning, what if somebody goes on a run? You say, you know what? Yeah, all right, Pittsburgh Penguins. Is this another year of the Florida Panthers over the Boston Bruins that surely Boston Bruin fans would love to forget? Coming up, Rory McIlroy, top 5 golfer all time. Huh. Yes. Or no, maybe no. Let's figure it out together. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Who is the...
I don't know why I keep on believing you need me when you proved so many times that it ain't true. And I can't find one good reason for staying. Maybe my leaving would be the best for you. But these rose-colored only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth, and they let me hold on to the good times, good lines, the ones I used to hear when I held you. And they keep me from feeling so cheated, defeated, when reflections in your eyes show me a fool. These rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth. So I'll just keep on hoping, believing that maybe by counting the many times I've tried, you'll believe me when I say I love you, and I'll lay these rose-colored glasses aside. These rose-colored glasses that I'm looking through show only the beauty, 'cause they hide all the truth.
I got a sweet little body and she's rolling in the caddy with me.
Touch yourself. Oh, it is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports. The Westwood One Sports app. One of the great quotes, Joe Dumars. Zion said Supermax. I said super hell no. That's great, man. It is a good morning today, Tuesday, April 18th. The 8 o'clock hour closes here. The Nick Costos, You Better You Bet, will join. And by join, I mean host the show that he hosts. Join Westwood One Sports where he works. Black and Abdallah, Jim Rome, the Jim Rome Show this afternoon as well. What an honor it is to work with a lineup such as this at Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. I was in Albuquerque this weekend. I've been pretty public with the fact that Albuquerque needs to do some things in my book to help to help climb the rankings of the cities that I've been to. And I've been to most cities in America by now, traveling with the Savannah Bananas organization. And Albuquerque is one of the interesting ones. I'm landing on Friday in Albuquerque, and we are hit by a haboob, which typically the presence of a haboob, which I would love to see one day. I'd always wanted to participate in haboob. Typically that would be, something that is intriguing. We had to turn the plane around. I didn't know there was a name for it. It is a dust storm, a large dust storm. We had to turn the plane around in the dust storm in Albuquerque and spin it around crazy style a few times before we could land and actually settle into the Duke City. As I'm doing research, which I thought this is my third time to Albuquerque. I thought it was so funny. It was almost a saving grace. I was like, you know what? Funny, Albuquerque. Nicely done. Well played. And then do some Googling. Come to find out, Albuquerque, in 1957, a B-36 bomber dropped a nuclear bomb on Albuquerque on accident. This is crazy. The nuclear portion did not detonate, thank God. But the city of Albuquerque itself has got some really odd, interesting history. Isotopes Park is where we played this weekend. And so I decided on Friday night, I went to the University of New Mexico and San Diego State baseball game on the campus of UNM, home of the Lobos. Showed up fifth inning. I was one of 47 people there. Free. No one at the gate. Just walk in. Yes, they sell beer. A lot of it. And I walk in, and it is this classic Mountain West game, just home run, college baseball. Final score of, I think, it's 6-4. I got in a fight with a San Diego State team parent. Guys just over there. So he had already told a scout at the game to go F himself. I was like, well, that's not good.
Real.
I can tell who's a scout, by the way, because they're usually fairly obvious. It seemed as though this father didn't care who anyone was. And at one point in the game, I should apologize to the University of New Mexico. At one point in the game, there was a check swing, and the guy went, like so clearly went. And the umpire said no, he didn't go. And so I, amongst 47 people, was like, no! I've read the rule book. I know the rules. Like, I'm talking probably this loud. It's not even that loud, but you can hear it for miles. It's thin air. It's like, no, read the rule book. That's bad. That's just not good. It's just bad baseball. It's not how it goes. And New Mexico challenges the call using their second and only remaining challenge. The call was then not overturned, and New Mexico lost all of its challenges. So I apologize to the coaching staff. I apologize to the good people of Lobo Country. Lobo's Country, let's ride. And that's when I got in the fight with the team dad. When he was like, "What do you want to? You want to talk? You want to talk?" And I was like, "Whoa, all right, yeah, I kind of do. Yeah." He said, "Who are you? Who are you?" Like, you don't know, do you? You never listened to Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app, have you? Yeah. I work for the dancing baseball team. Now what, Dad? Oh, what? Your son is a backup second baseman for San Diego State, huh? Ooh. Somebody come get her.
Curtis, I think the most important thing from that is that, Curtis, I need you as the investigator of privates to go investigate the haboob. I need you to go figure out what that's about. Curtis,
haboob,
get your
never
ass
seen
out
one in
there.
real life. I'm hoping.
Get your ass out there.
It's the one time that Nitro and Blip really need Curtis's sniffer. It's sort of like, oh no, this is a classic case of whether or not there's a gas leak in our house and we're all going to die. Where's Curtis when you need him? And then off camera, you hear the narrator. It's Arrested Development style. Curtis was at the Haboob conference that week.
It's Curtis when we need him.
It's 1 week a year. Yeah, Curtis. that Rico, whatever the guy's name is.
Also, how crazy would it be
Rico.
if on a Monday you just see a video of Drake getting in a fight with a dad at New Mexico?
I would believe it. I would
Breaking.
honestly believe it. I'd be like,
Team
there he is.
parent and host of Locked On Big 12 get in fist fight.
I'd be like, there he is arguing again. I've told him to stop arguing, and look what he needs to be bailed out of jail. And Curtis has to go sniff out the haboob, so no one can go help Drake.
By the way, classic baseball malpractice. Runners on first and second, nobody out, bottom of the ninth, tied game. What do you do? Runners on first and second, nobody out, bottom of the ninth, tied game. Your 7-hole hitters up. What do you do?
Man, it seems like you got to have like a nice little.
You
do something
bunt.
I was
You
a
bunt.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Sorry, I couldn't do
Yeah,
it.
no,
I was
speak
getting
for me.
anxious.
Speak for me, Drake. Anything else? You want to ask me
I was
another
getting-
question and answer it yourself?
I was getting anxious.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna
Is
make me
it
throw up.
International Women in Sports Month?
Yeah, I haven't seen you do anything for me. Okay.
I'll send you a $10. I'll give you the what's the airline? People give the steward a $10 Starbucks
You know
gift
what I
card.
want. Y'all know what I want, and y'all have yet to put your little brains together and buy me a pigeon.
Arch Manning.
That too.
Oh.
But the stuffed pigeon.
What a
The
penguin.
haboob. We should bunt here, and we bunt again. We squeeze, right? Nope. Wrong. Ground into a double play. Awesome. Runner moves to third, though. Bottom of the ninth, 2 outs. Runner at third base, tie game. New Mexico at the plate. Yak. What otherwise would have been a 250-foot fly ball, not in them hills, baby. Not in that thin air. It bounces off the top of the wall and out. Ball game. Walk-off home run. New Mexico wins. I was very excited for the Lobos on their Friday Mountain West Conference game. Rory, top 5 all-time? Yes. Yes, he is. And, yeah, 54 weeks ago, Rory being top 5 all-time is stupid, silly. You wouldn't even entertain that conversation. But now, I can't get around it, dog. Career Grand Slam, yep. Alongside Nicklaus, Woods, Hogan, Gary Player, Sarazen. Like, that's the gatekeeper. I don't think Gary Player is top 5 all time. But that's a gatekeeper for top 5 consideration. You take that, and then you give Rory 6 major championships, 2 Masters, 2 PGA titles, 1 U.S. Open, 1 Open Championship. He's tied with Faldo for the most majors by a European in history. 4th player ever to defend a Masters title. Uh-oh. According to Data Golf, by the way, in strokes gained metrics, number 4 all-time in career total strokes gained points. Trailing only Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Ben Hogan. Top 5, man. 122 weeks as the world number 1. Only trails a couple of guys in that category. Like, top 5. Might just be Rory McIlroy. It is time, Tuesday, for Dead or Alive. Let's start with you, Curtis. Greg Maddux, Dead or Alive, Major League Baseball pitcher, Cy Young winner.
Oh, alive.
Alive.
Maddie? Alive. Happy birthday, Greg Maddux. 60 years old today, meaning he played in the MLB 5 years ago. Greg Maddux, still around. Dead or Alive, Curtis. Pete Rose.
Dead.
Ooh, Addie?
He is dead.
But alive in the Hall of Fame. So
Somewhere.
forever enshrined to the Hall of Fame.
And in our hearts.
Addie, Anthony Michael Hall, 16 Candles.
Alive.
Oh, Curtis.
Alive.
58 years old and alive. It's pretty easy ones so far. Curtis, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Burger King commercials,
Also,
and
Buffy.
wife of Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, I know Freddie Prinze. Actually, I used to work with him at ESPN. She's alive, too.
She is alive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she is. All right. Addie, Brad Garrett. He is Everybody Loves Raymond.
Alive.
Ooh, Curtis.
We need a dead. Let's go dead.
Now we've got a ball game. He's alive. 66 years old today.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Curtis, you should have
All
bought
right, Curtis. Marvin Miller. Marvin Miller, Executive Director of the Major League Baseball Players Association.
Alive.
Addie.
I'll kill him.
Oh my gosh. He died in 2012. He would be 109 years old today.
Curtis,
He'd be
what the-
109. It's now 2-0. Rod
It's not
Steiger.
private.
Addy,
If it's not private, I don't know the answer.
Rod Steiger, actor on the waterfront. The movie On the Waterfront.
Never heard of it, so dead.
Ooh, Curtis?
Put him in a coffin, dead.
Yeah, he's dead. 77 years old. Would have been 101 today. And then finally, Brian Forster, actor. Partridge Family, played Chris Partridge, Addy.
I think I love you. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da. Do you know that song? Dead?
Curtis.
Let's go live.
He is alive. 66 years old. Happy birthday today. All right. Last but not least, this could decide the game.
No, I think I'm winning 2-1.
Yes, but it could decide. This is winner take all. Actually, am I? Yes. Okay. Curtis Adrian Brody.
Oh, live.
Addy.
I didn't even hear what you said because Curtis was talking.
Adrian Brody.
Alive.
Yeah, that was the last one I had. Loretta Lynn. Curtis Loretta Lynn.
Sounds like a dead name. Let's go dead.
Coal miner's daughter? Is she still alive?
Yeah, we stay. She's dead. She's dead. We stay tied. This has been Always Will Be. Love you. The Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.